Welcome to the Preschool All Stars podcast. I'm your host, Joy Anderson, and with us today is our amazing Preschool All Star, Kristen Lucas Smith. Girl, how are you?
Hola, I'm doing well over here at La Casa Bilingual Preschool Online. Thank
So,
you.
your preschool is phenomenal. You're phenomenal, but I want everybody to know more about you because I could go on and on about your story. So, let's dive back a bit and we're going to quickly, because you have a long story about your journey with us. So, let's just kind of briefly touch on what was your life like before you found us?
Yeah, absolutely. So I would have to say before the joy moment that I had, seeing her scroll on my Facebook and seeing her just lovely face, I was at a point to where it was right before COVID and I had my son who was about 1 year old. And I was literally internally freaking out because I was one of those people that said, I don't want to go back to work and I don't want to miss every moment of my son. I actually want to teach him Spanish and I want to stay home and I want to
Yeah.
make money, all the things, right? So, knowing that I had this opportunity to not only teach him Spanish, but also be able to teach other kids Spanish at his age, it was
Yeah.
a game changer. It was a game changer. And when I came across your feed and I saw that you were helping people make a local preschool alive within their community, I was saying to myself, this is it. I want to do this, and I don't know how long I'm going to do this, but I'm going to do it till he's 5, right?
Right.
And I get to be home with my son, and I get to have him have friends and all the things. And so it really was stemmed from my miracle son that I was just deathly afraid of him going to a school. I wanted to be the one to teach him. And
Yeah.
so we waited 12 years. We just celebrated our 20-year wedding anniversary.
Oh my gosh, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. And around year 12 in our marriage, he I was blessed to get pregnant and it was
Yeah.
just a miracle. And so when you want to hold on to your blessing, right? And you want to just like experience what it's like to teach your own child was really huge for me. So when it came down to the nitty-gritty of it all, I trusted you. I was like, she's the one to do it all. And I actually secretly was watching your webinar, your masterclass you had.
Yeah.
I didn't tell my husband about it
Right.
because I was like, oh my gosh, I think this is it. I think this is it. And I just started seeing everything that was going on in your life and the lives of others that you were impacting. And I was getting very like, I don't know, um, hopeful in a situation where I'm a stay-at-home mom, right? And I always
Yep.
wanted to make money and
Yep.
be at home at the same time. So here I am, just scared out of my mind, and I'm going for it. I
Right.
telling my husband about it. And the night that I tell my husband about it, he tells me, we're supposed to have multiple streams of income. Like, I don't know what that looks like, but you're supposed to be having like something going on, like business wise. I said, so glad you said that.
I love it. That's awesome. That's
Yeah,
like the perfect lead in.
absolutely, absolutely. And so I told him about it. I told him about you. I told him about just all that I'm learning and how this could really be possible.
Yeah.
And coming to find out the way that our house was structured, it was a daycare prior to us even moving in, and we had no idea. So
Wow.
just being able to know the vision that I saw of like our playroom off the kitchen was the classroom, the play yard, there was a picnic table left, there was a play structure left that was
Yeah.
given to us by the owners that sold us the home. And so everything just kind of clicked to me. And I was like, this could really be, right?
Yeah.
And then dun dun dun, COVID hits. Everything alive from
No,
you.
wait, pause real quick. Did you jump in before COVID? I don't remember.
Yes, yes. I
Okay.
was in 6 months before COVID hit.
Got it. Okay, good.
So it was around October or so.
Yep. Okay.
And I was going through the process, right?
Yes.
Setting up my local preschool. And
Got
the
it.
month that I was getting my house inspected and
Right.
everything was about to go down.
I know. You got your marketing in your hand and then you're like, no.
I know. Good thing I didn't print the flyers or anything because
Yeah,
that would
you're
really.
right.
But just the fact that I was on the brink of breakthrough of having my
Yeah.
preschool, everything was following suit. And
Mm.
remember one live with you. and you were saying, I don't know, but I think something's shifting here with us, you guys. And I
Yep.
hope you can shift with me.
Yep.
And the night that I was looking at your live, my husband, I was laying in the bed just watching your live. And that night, he just laughed and chuckled. And he said, you know what's so funny? He says, you should probably just do your preschool online. And literally, right when he said that, we both laughed. And then you said it 10 minutes later, like on time. And I was like, online. And the rest is history. I ended up starting the first bilingual preschool online nationwide, and
Yep.
it was a trailblazer there for so many other bilingual educators that were like, I want to not only give children an opportunity to prepare for kindergarten, but I want to empower them to actually learn a new language in the home, right?
Yeah.
So it's been just a game changer to be able to see how it's organically like kind of put together, because I didn't even put not one ad or anything organically. It just happened with you. And then we can go over that story in a minute.
Yeah.
Um,
That
so
that is awesome. No, and you're so correct. Like when we put out online preschool, like your bilingual preschool was just like boom, top of Google, like it's you, like people are going to find you. What I do want to do is, because of course we're talking today about how we can be resourceful, get money to pay for Hub Preschool in a Box, Preschool All Star. You did an amazing strategy called 1K in 1 day script. Now I don't know if you remember how much you made, but I took a screenshot.
I don't even remember what it was.
That's okay. Well, my screenshot says $1,680. Yeah, I know you're like, oh my gosh, good job, Kristen from the back day.
Right.
No, but so you put that out there, and let's see, was that for your online preschool then?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So you put that out there. And by the way, when you join Preschool All Stars, that's one of the strategies that you're going to do in your first 30 days with us, is something called the 1K in 1 day script. I'll explain it another time later tonight. But so you got $1,680. Did you also do the 7 students in 7 days?
I did.
Okay.
Yes.
And did you get any students signed up with that one?
I did. Yeah, because it was an add-on because we were
Got
in
it.
the middle of the year. And so it was an add-on through the January group.
Got
So
it. Got it.
my fall group. And then
Yeah.
that was a really good push for me to get some new students in.
Nice. Okay, so now we've got kind of the outline here. So you're like, cool, I'm going to make a bilingual online preschool. Now, because of time, walk us through your journey from then through the next, 5 years. What's been going on? Tell us what you want to share with us.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I was going through my numbers because I knew I was going to meet with you. So I was going through my numbers and I was just astonished about what has happened since we've last spoken.
Yeah.
And I have to say, just organically, like I said, I didn't know how this preschool was going to be built. It was definitely something that I trusted God to build, that it wasn't me doing it.
Yeah.
And he did just that. So my very first parent, which I just saw last week on a couples retreat, which was awesome, ended up on Joy's feed. And she did a live of frustration on Facebook because in the middle of COVID, and it was one of her friends that said, hey, it's COVID season. And the bilingual teacher said that because of COVID, we now cannot have a bilingual preschool online. And so we're not having class. And she says, we need to find a bilingual preschool online. And so
Right.
Joy just tagged me on there. She showed me the connection with her, and the rest is history because of the fact that that young lady who had a 3-year-old at the time, wanting to be able to have that 45-minute block to work for her own job and then have her child in an environment where she can learn at her own level, was phenomenal, because she already had 5 other moms signed up for the other bilingual school. So all of those moms came on into my first class. And so that's how it was built in the beginning. And I had close to 25 kids in my class on my first day of preschool.
On your first day, you had 25 online students?
Yes. At one time, I couldn't believe it either. I was like,
Yeah.
what did I just sign up for? So what I did is I strategically put them in separate blocks of times.
Okay.
So it'd be a little bit more conducive to handle, right? So
Right.
it was a max of 10. I could only handle 10, so I could see all my little 10 squares all
Oh,
of
I
them
love
at the
that.
same time.
Yeah.
And, after that, that's when I started to really build upon my curriculum. The curriculum that you had placed, I just added a little bit more in
Yeah.
regards to bilingual portion,
Yep.
right? And then I found other resources to help me to really give a better holistic approach of bilingual education for ages 3 to 5. And that
Yeah.
really worked. So here I'm going through the process. I go through my first year. I have over, I believe it was the first, let me look at my notes here. I got my notes on my notes.
No, you're good. You're good.
The first year, I had retention rate of 92% of a
What?
9-month program. Yes,
Amazing. How much was it again? How much was the program?
97 a month.
$97 a month. You had 92% people
Yes.
continuing. Love that.
For 9 months they were continuing on, and then the second year they came on back into the second year. And I love the fact that I had that process of the parents trusting me. I also did something a little bit different where because we were online, I did a monthly check-in with all of my parents. So once a month I would say, this is what I'm seeing with your child. This is how we can make it better. Do you have any feedback for me? How can I make it better for you? And they
That's cool.
love that. They loved
Yeah.
being able to set up that time with me, whether by phone or via Zoom. And that's how I kept it growing. And I even had, because I had a Christian component where I would pray with the kids, we would have Bible verses that I would say once a month. And then the parents ended up wanting to know more about God, and they started praying with me in those monthly check-ins. And so it
Yeah.
became more like a ministry for me. And one of the highlights in my third year was a Muslim family, and they were out of Ecuador, and it was triplets. Okay.
I love it.
Triplets came into my program. They were with me for 2 years. And the mom, she was from Arizona, African American, and she was married to a Muslim man. And she said that, I know that this is what I'm supposed to be doing to help build my children up. And
Wow.
so the very first day, she said, I just have to tell you, we may have to like log off at the end when you pray. Okay. I just want to let you know that. Okay. So
Yeah.
Jew is just like my religion, right?
Yeah.
By the first week of class, on that second week, she had them in my class the whole time. And their little hands were like this, and they were praying with us.
That's so cute.
It was just so amazing to see that she was just open to me sharing about my faith and about how much God loves them, right?
Yeah.
Little age, that God has a purpose for them, that He wants their light to shine. And so that was something that I didn't want to kind of like compromise.
Change. Yeah.
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 I felt like
Yeah.
that was a part of me because my husband's a pastor. I felt like I want to give to the next generation,
Yeah.
be good stewards of their lives, right?
Yeah.
And to be good citizens. And so that was something that was really beautiful for me, that I felt like, wow, okay, this is not just a business. I am literally impacting lives clear
Yes.
the country, across the world.
Right.
So many different kids that are enjoying class with me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so back to the numbers, I want to tell you.
Yes.
So we had in the last 5 years, I'm going into my 6th year in the fall. I've had over 178 students come through my program.
Wow.
In the last 5 years. Like, it's amazing to just, even mind boggling that has happened for me. And it's happened organically. And I even created a scholarship program for families that couldn't afford the 97 a month, right?
Yeah.
And so I would do every summer, that would be a way for me to promote the preschool, is through a fundraiser. And then 3 families would be chosen randomly. And I would give them one free year to just be in my classes.
Oh, that's awesome. How do you do the fundraiser?
I did it through GoFundMe.
Yeah.
And I had to switch because Facebook used to let you do fundraisers. Then I don't know. So I don't do that anymore. So GoFundMe was my actual platform that I was using each and every
Gotcha.
time. Yeah.
Cool. Nice.
I did like organically kind of make my own business the way I would want it, because I want to spend time with my son. I want to travel, all the things.
Yeah.
So it was contemplating about the summer camps, and it just didn't work for me. Like, I was like, I want to take a break. I want to be with my kid. I want to go to the beach and not have to concern myself with like classes throughout the summer. And so it just worked to where people were on a wait list in June. They're in a wait list to come in September, and they were just signing up on the wait list. They were just waiting for me to start. And so I felt like that was like the FOMO going on, building the anticipation, like, oh, this is a really good class, and I'm staying 9 months. I get to get accepted into La Casa Bilingual Preschool. So yes.
You have had a crazy journey. Now, you forgot to mention that your very first preschool student, whose mom you went on a vacation with just recently on a couples retreat, the country where your very first student came from. So what country was that?
From Grenada?
Yeah.
Yes. So we went to Grenada this past week. And when I tell you how amazing it is to be able to build relationships with parents, right? And be able to see them. She actually took me to Bali last year. It was part of her program that she had to empower women. Dr. Cassandra Enriquez is her name, with her awesome husband. And they are doing wonderful things together to build up people in business and just love and all the things.
Yeah.
And, just to see that even something like this can go even further, like clear the world, to build and establish relationships with like-minded individuals. And so, it was phenomenal. I haven't had a chance to meet their daughter because usually we're traveling and she's.
I know. He's like, so tell me you met your first student. She's like, no.
I haven't met her. No. She knows who I am. She knows I'm Senora, right?
Yeah. You talk to her all the time. Okay, so that is amazing. So seeing your entire journey, I know we need to wrap this up. So along the way, what are the other things that have come into your life that you didn't expect to come into your life? And I'm thinking of only one that I know of. There may be more, but like TikTok. But like, is there anything else? Like, quickly talk about like what happened with TikTok, and then like anything else has happened in your life that you're like, whoa, didn't expect that. But because I started the preschool, then this came.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I've been teaching Spanish for the last 20 something years, right? And preschool was my second business. My very first business is Speak Spanish Easy, where I teach adults in corporations, in universities, in churches. I teach them Spanish and get them fluent in less than 90 days. That's what I do, right? So because of the preschool, I learned how to be in front of the camera. Like, I had no idea what this was like. I was like, wait, I'm teaching, right? And my sister was like, you're doing really well with this preschool. You need to go back to your first love over there with teaching adults, teaching Spanish. So I said, okay, how does this work? And I ended up going onto TikTok, doing a challenge, a 5-day challenge with one of my friends who put it on. And I just learned how to do a video. And I wasn't even speaking Spanish, you guys. 5 seconds, text on the screen, talking about, hey, you took high school Spanish, you're not fluent. You did the language apps, you're still not fluent. Hit the plus sign and follow me so you can get fluent, right?
Right, yeah.
It went crazy. I have over close to 700,000 followers on TikTok right now because I said yes to social media. Okay, I said yes to TikTok, to Instagram, YouTube, all the things.
Yeah.
And that has blown up because of my confidence that has built up. And if there's somebody right now listening and you're like, I can't be in front of the camera, I don't know what to say, my hair's not right, my makeup's not right, don't worry about it. People don't care. Okay, they care about the passion that you have, and they want you to know that they want you to trust them as you trust the process, right? Of teaching. And so don't allow your shyness to keep you from making an impact in so many people's lives that really need what you have. I don't care what it is. It's a special niche. It's something about you that makes your preschool what it is. So I hope that encourages some of you guys, because I had no idea people were trying to learn Spanish. Okay, I had no idea. That ended up, somebody followed me on social media and I came up on their feed, and guess who reached out and slid into my DMs?
Who?
Telemundo.
No, come on now. When was that? Where have I been? I am so out of the loop.
Yeah, so that was last year. They love the fact that I'm Afro-Latina and I teach Spanish, and they wanted to do a story on me for Black History Month last Friday.
Wow.
And they did a story, and it literally just like brought it up even to a higher level of just
Wow.
what I'm doing with my business, and being able to create a community on school right now called Fluency University. And I get to teach adults and give them homework and make them feel excited about learning about Spanish again. And so that all came from me getting comfortable in front of the camera. And
Yeah.
my preschool, you remember the preschool recordings like that we were doing, and just providing that for parents. Like,
Our very first ones. Yes.
I was so nervous. I was just like, I don't know how to edit. I'm just going to do my best the first time.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. And if we mess up, whatever.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
And so just very organic. All of it was
Yeah.
organic.
That is awesome. Well, so proud of you and everything you've accomplished. It's fantastic. If there's any woman out there who's, wanting to start a preschool, but maybe, financially is thinking, I'm not sure, maybe she's even thinking like, I can't afford it or I don't have enough money or things like that. Like, what would you say to her to help her realize, like, this is your next step? This is how you can do this.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I would say if you're just on the fence or you're just saying to yourself, I cannot do this without this X amount of money, I want to just say, just step out on faith. Literally, just step out and do what you can do. It was just the book, right, that I had invested at first. I'm in the Bahamas reading the book, okay, under the sun, enjoying the process of investing in myself,
Yeah.
going to that next level. I didn't even mention the hub. We got to mention the hub. That was a game changer right there. The step by steps of how to create the back end of your business
Yeah.
was a game changer for me. So it was levels of investment that I feel like you have to be okay with. That it may seem overwhelming at first,
For
but
sure.
take the first step. Get the book. After that, go do the one day.
Preschool All Stars.
Yes, all the things, the all stars, the
Yeah.
community, all of
Yeah.
that is all part of your story and your journey. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So embrace the journey and know that you're going to get to that other side where you're going to see your investment not only come back, but 10x. For myself, I'm here looking at my numbers here, and here I am 5 years later. The little money I invested over 6 years ago almost is now 10x, 20x of what I have made in my business, right?
Yeah.
And so this is every single year you're going to be making income that's going to come in to cover the cost of your investment and also leave a legacy for others as well. So I say jump on in. And those numbers are real when she makes you write it out and say, how many classes? How much are you going to charge?
Yeah.
All these things, it's a reality. It becomes your reality where you're making $3,000, $5,000, $10,000 a month because of the fact that you've written that vision and made it plain. So just know it can happen for anyone.
Yes. I love that. You are amazing. And it was so good to talk to you, my friend. All right.
Well,
If you haven't,
yes.
yes, if you haven't joined Preschool All Stars yet, go to preschoolallstars.com. And Kristen, you have an amazing night.
You did the same. Thank you so much for just being who you are and always staying encouraging to all of us out here in the field of making a change for these families.
I appreciate you. All right. We'll talk soon. Bye.
Okay. Adios.